G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here once again on Forts. This map previously, I guess you could say it copped a little bit of flack for being a map that is a little bit whack. Welcome. Let's introduce our players for today and then we'll get into it and we'll start the banter off strong, I'm confident. Anyway, spawning in on the north side of the map in the color orange, playing as the Japanese, we've got Corvinus 1. And on the south side of the map in the color yellow, playing as the Mongols, we've got Lucifron. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. If you're enjoying this content, make sure you hit that like button, as it really helps out with the traction of the channel. And if I don't remind you, you're just not gonna do it. So, you know, I gotta let you know. Anyway, let's get to it. So we're playing on Forts. A good old-fashioned map. No, I'm just kidding. This map is absolutely crazy. Already, we've got ourselves some interesting stuff that's going on. It looks like large stone spawns in the base, which is kind of weird when you think about it, right? Because there's not really that much space in this base to begin with, and they give you a large stone instead of a small stone. But, look, anyway, that's the way that it goes. There doesn't really seem to be much stone on this map, actually. You can see that there's basically just three stones in the center. Am I missing one? I'm probably missing one. There we go. There's a fourth one over here. So not a whole lot of stone on the map. And when it comes to resources, you know, we've seen this map before, and previously there was one side of the map that had way more resources than the other. It doesn't seem to be the case here. That north side definitely has, you know, we got double deer pack up here, triple deer pack. I mean, if you can count, triple deer pack. We've got plenty of gold, and of course those stone are up here. But even on the south side, like there's still, if your opponent takes the top left and you take the bottom right, then I need to sneeze. Oh no, I need to sneeze. All right, I think I blocked most of it. Whew. I don't know about you guys, but in Australia at the moment, it's hot. So 36 degrees Celsius today. So I've got the AC blasting. Well, the thing about the AC is that, you know, it always starts off strong because you start it early in Australia. Because if you know it's going to be 36 degrees in the afternoon, you got to start the AC a little bit earlier. Just because if you wait until it gets 36 degrees, the AC is just going to conk out. So you don't want to do that. You got to start it up early. But the problem is you get this little window. it's a bit of a first world problem. A little bit of a window where your AC is going ham and it gets cold. Anyway, I'm not going to turn off the AC. We might be riddled with a couple of sneezes here and there. But have a look at this. Look at this, a cheeky little wall that we've got coming up already from Corvinus. He is looking to prevent any outposts from coming down on this gold, and I think this is so smart. I'm curious about this palisade wall, though. Is there a world where a single spearman comes up, sieges this palisade wall, and breaks this whole thing down? I reckon there is. I think it might be happening. Let's ride on board with Lucifron. Oh yeah, look. Does Corvinus realize in time to bring the villager? He's bringing the villager. I don't think he's going to have a chance, though. The spears are going to get here. Oh, my lordy. Actually, dude, I tell you what, Lucifron absolutely made a massive mistake there because the Khan tipped him off. The Khan basically said, hey, I can attack that wall, and Corvinus pulls it out just in time, and now there's a huge wait that's going to happen before you can even get in onto that gold. Look, in the end, I think that if you throw units into this outpost and get arrow slits, you're going to be able to deny the gold. But, I mean, already you're feeling good about yourself if you're Corvinus, managing to get that one over Lucifron, one of the world's best players, by the way. He is a top-level player, definitely in my top 5. Unfortunately, Corvinus, not quite in my top 5. Probably close to maybe my top 15 I'd put him in. Maybe even top 10 just because of his plays. He's an absolute goat when it comes to the playmaking ability. I will say that much. But we'll check in with him and see how he's doing as that age up is starting to come through. It's going to be the Kura storehouse. Pretty decent timing on this one. 5 vills on the landmark. You can see a defensive outpost going to be going up here as the Khan behind the scenes. Look at the amount of spears we've got here. See, the one thing I don't like about this outpost is basically saying I'm going to commit to this gold. But I do fear that the outpost from Lucifron is going to be able to reach the villagers on the gold, so it's not really going to matter anyway. Anyway, is he just going to be able to hold that wall? Surely not. All right, arrow slits should be coming through shortly here for Corvinus, and we can see them coming in on the way. And have a look at the Kura storehouse. Have a look how terrible this is. So normally, when the Kura storehouse starts off, it spawns its farm towards the 9 o'clock position. It couldn't do it at the 9 o'clock or the 10 o'clock or the 11 o'clock. It has to go for the 12 o'clock position. Not to mention that you've got the 4 and 5 o'clock that are both blocked out here. Like, this Kura storehouse is going to get like 4 farms down. Oh, it's tough. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Anyway, arrow slits now coming... Wait, did he cancel the arrow slits? Wait, what happened there? That was a bit weird. Oh no, the arrow slits are through. A little bit buggy. Khan on the front side now. Plenty of sheep coming in as well for Corvinus, so he's going to have a field day when it comes to making sure he's got a safe little base. Now, is he going for a fast castle? Is that what we're seeing? 5 bills on gold would indicate to me that that is going to be the case, but have a look behind this. As that wall does come down, we've got the silver tree coming up for his opponent. Now, markets or trading posts in the middle of the map, I think this is the only one. Remember, I am legally blind, so sometimes I do miss this. I can only see the one. So I suspect that silver tree might be looking to move over towards this western corner and start trading towards the trade post in the middle. And if that's the case, I do like this a lot. I think this is the right way to do trade. You want traders to be forced to come out and defend. You don't want them sitting safe in the back of their base. I remember talking about it with the devs, and I'm like, you know what? Every single map should just have a trade post in the corner so we can safely trade. And I was like, that's not... It doesn't really promote, you know, a healthy gameplay. So I do like this direction. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this map isn't that bad. I'll give him that. I'll give him that. Anyway, arrow slits is through, and it looks like on the edge of that outpost range are a couple of villagers that are just a little bit too happy to be gathering that gold. Pixel perfect stuff here from Corvinus. You hate to see this coming out from Lucifron, because basically he's invested a whole bunch of resources into this. But I guess to be fair, I mean, Corvinus has done the exact same thing. And by having this outpost here, he prevents any further incursions on his side of the map and guarantees that he gets to Castle Age. Doesn't have to think about coming out here and then, you know, being disrupted out here and then having to throw down an outpost and, oh, it's Keshik, so we couldn't get the outpost up in time, so we've lost 6 villages and we couldn't get to Castle Age because of it. You know, there's a whole lot that comes out of just having this outpost down. So really well played here by Corvinus. And I'm curious to see which landmark he's going to go for, because I guess one of the big things that we haven't really been talking about is obviously the floating gate is an insanely good landmark if you're going for fast castle. But there is still the Temple of Equality to consider. Hardened card going to go down. You hate to see it this early on, but Lucifron losing the card very, very early on in this piece. Looks like behind the scenes we've got the silver tree, but no traders coming out just yet. Double Keshik going to be on the way. Age up about to be dropped down by Corvinus 1. I'd love to see just a couple of walls in the back of the base, because it is going to be the Temple of Equality. He is going for it. We're seeing a fast castle directly into the Temple of Equality, and now the Keshik's trying to survive. You can see that they're doing a little bit of damage, and he's going to pull it back, and I suspect he's going to try and heal it up on the wall, and that's exactly what he'll do. You can see it's going to be a slow and steady heal here, but he will eventually heal up to max health, and he can run them back in. Villager's got to be careful. Villager's got to be careful. You can see just how low that villager is getting. And towards the front side, another Keshik will come through. Corvinus playing a very safe style, but he's got lots of sheep underneath the town center, so I think he's going to be absolutely fine with regard to the food count. The wood count's looking good. He's got stone if he wants it, not to mention the Kura storehouse is still pumping out farms for him. The gold is absolutely safe at this stage of the game. I'll be honest with you, Corvinus is not looking too bad. This is, you know, now that I think about it, maybe this is a really good map for just going fast castle. They're going to have to change the name from forts to fast. That wasn't very good, Drogo. But speaking of fast, you want to know something my son has learnt recently? You guys would have heard him in a couple of videos, because he knows how to open doors now, so he just comes in and opens up the door. Have a look at this, though. He's learned to say the word fast. And he just runs around the house. He's running around downstairs. He's spamming. He's like, fast, fast. And he's just running really fast. It's very, 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 very sweet. Villagers. Oh, you're right on the edge here. Apparently, 2 villagers have gone down. That's going to be the second one right there that has gone down. So he's lost out 2 so far. Now, where does Corvinus go with this Temple of Equality? Because if we take a look at the Temple of Equality, what does it really do? When you compare it to, say, like the floating gate. Because the floating gate, out of the gates, quite literally, out of the gate, you have got a massive bonus. Number 1, you've got a free monk or religious unit. I think it's a Shinto priest, right? Is that what you've got? Yeah, a Shinto priest out of the gate with a Yorishiro that is, you know, you can put that in. Oh. we got another villager going to be going down here. No, he lives. He's taken out 3 workers so far this game, and you can see Corvinus is really starting to struggle. Needs to get units out. Does not have the ability to do it now. With the Keshiks inside the base, +1 ranged armor has come through. The outpost going to be looking to be the last stronghold. That's the word I was looking for these units, but it's going to be a spring-out emplacement. That'll definitely help him out in this situation as these Keshiks get cleaned up. 4 workers so far taken out. He's doing an incredible job managing to keep them alive, but it looks like these workers may indeed be going down as those Keshiks get a lot of idle time in here together with taking out 5 workers so far. So Lucifron is going to be up a substantial amount of workers. Now, the traders are out, but have a look at this. Only 9 gold coming through, and I think Lucifron's very quickly worked out that, hold on a minute, 9 gold, that ain't really the bee's knees, and we kind of like the bee and his knees. Yeah, that's important. Kura Storehouse, though, now going to start producing. That's the town center, Drongo. Kura Storehouse now going to start producing wood instead of producing farms. Now, keep in mind that it will produce farms in the event that positions open up for it. It will go back to doing its farming duty. But in the meantime, it's just going to be gathering up the good old-fashioned way, gathering up that wood. So, yeah, essentially, my question is, what do you really gain from the Temple of Equality? Because I think that's the massive difference. And I think as long as people still go for Castle Ages relatively quickly, the Temple of Equality is not going to be the priority. And I know that it is here for Corvinus, but I think that's mainly because he's doing a little bit of memeing. He does do a little bit of memeing here, and he likes to test it out. And we can see before even a single Buddhist monk has come out, he's looking to pick up the unique technology called Zen, which is going to generate 25 gold every 60 seconds for your Buddhist monks. So it means as soon as you train a Buddhist monk, that Buddhist monk will then be giving you 25 gold every minute, including as soon as it comes out, it will give you that bonus. But that landmark will now be scouted out by Lucifron. Now compare that over to, say, as an example, the floating gate. The floating gate gives you an immediate 300 wood, and it gives you an immediate 150 gold because of the religious unit it provides. So straight out of the gate, you're getting 450 resources, not to mention that you can then just throw up a couple of Yorishiro in the forges, and, you know, throw a couple more forges down in the back of the base, and you're in a really good position. But now we're going to see that very first Buddhist monk come out straight away, starts producing that gold, and you can see that he's going to be throwing out that Sohae's Sultra on his opponent, a 60-second debuff that reduces enemy damage by 50%. So that Khan will go down to a single damage, even though it does say 2 bow damage. I'm not sure exactly what's happening there with the math. I think the best way to do it is just to click on the villagers. It is 2 damage that it's got. So 3 minus 2 is not 1, as some people would lead you to believe. It's actually 2. Anyway, over on the west side, the unit numbers continue to build here for Lucifron. He's still in the feudal age, but at this stage of the game, he's got a nice, sizable villager lead because he's managed to take out quite a few villagers of his opponent, and he's got him stuck inside the middle of the base. Now, the Daimyo Palace is through. Doesn't look like the Shogunate Castle is going to be coming online just yet. He was working towards it. In fact, with the stone outcropping being a large stone outcropping, as we mentioned earlier, he does have the ability to go directly into the Shogunate Castle from just the main base, but he is getting absolutely boxed in at this point. Corvinus is starting to struggle. You can feel it. He doesn't really know where to go, what to do, but fortunately for him, he does have options. Most importantly, he's got the Temple of Equality pumping out those Buddhist monks, and you've got to remember that with those Buddhist monks, he just basically lets them chill, just leaves them in the back of the base, and they're going to be generating gold. We can see right now, if we come in close, it's going to pop up above their heads. You're going to see nice little plus 25 right there. So essentially, these Buddhist monks are like, I guess you could kind of say like half a villager. That's what it works out to be. So at the moment, you know, he's got 1.5 villages worth of Buddhist monks. But I think what's important to remember is that not only do these 1.5 villages provide a resource that is a rare resource, you know, gold is definitely a difficult to get resource, but on top of that, it provides a bit of assistance with regard to your defense, right? Like your enemy's pushing in, that all of a sudden you throw that bad boy out there, and now you've got yourself a pretty decent defense. Spear's going to come out. You can see just how much damage the Mounted Samurai do. Now, if he pulls this Mounted Samurai back, I'm pretty confident he could actually heal it up with the Buddhist monks. Indeed he can, indeed he can. Okay, I'm liking this. This actually makes a lot of sense. The fact that he's going into the mounted samurai as well actually plays into this when you think about it. Okay, so if we were to think, okay, well, what are you getting from going into Buddhist monks? You're getting gold. What's a gold heavy unit? Mounted samurai. Mounted samurai cost 110 gold. So this is, if anything, a unit that is really, really effective when it comes to spending that gold, because you're going to have lots of gold, right? Now, of course, you're also going to be needing gold to spend on the Buddhist monks, but it doesn't. I'm seeing a lot of sense being made right now, but you've got to pull that mounted samurai back. He's going to be popping those units. Now, I'm curious to see, does it decrease the amount of bonus? It looks like it does decrease the bonus that you get against cavalry, which is very good to see, because now all of a sudden, my fear was that you're only going to be reducing the main component of the damage and not reducing the bonus that they get. And of course, for anybody unfamiliar with the spearman does not a lot of damage, but it has a really big bonus against cavalry. But fortunately, it looks like the devs did pick that up, and they did make sure that it is also going to reduce the amount of damage that specialty yeah, I guess specialty is probably the best way to say it. Bonus damage that you get, that gets reduced as well, which is great to see. I'm liking this combo. I'm suspecting he's probably going to go into samurais or Begeisha. Begeisha could be really nice to go into in this situation, because they're also, I wouldn't say a gold heavy unit, but you know, it's a 3-to-1 cost that you've got here compared to, say, the samurai, which is I guess a 3.3-to-1 cost, so pretty damn close as well. Traction Trebuchet now going to come out here. Farmhouse under pressure. Wouldn't be surprised to see a villager or two just coming up to help repair this, and it's going to be the Kurultai that does get moved forward. And you can see Lucifer is absolutely staging a siege right now. We have got an absolute siege coming down on this fort. Now, across the map, Lucifer has begun to take the natural resources that are out here. And this is something that I often talk about on my Patreon. If you'd like to go check it out, if you want to improve, if you want to see some coaching content, I'll leave a link in the description. But one of the big things I talk about on my Patreon is you want to try and take the natural resources if you've got map control. And we can see from Lucifer's perspective, he has got absolute 100% map control here. So don't go, in this case, if you're playing a civilization that has farms, don't go into a whole bunch of farms back home. What you want to be doing is getting out onto the map and taking those natural resources. And exactly how Lucifer has done, he hasn't gone into any of the unique pastures available to, where are they? Down here. The unique pastures available to the Mongols. And that is a really important move, because he's going to be able to convert all of those resources immediately into units out on the field. We'll switch it over to income per minute and see exactly how many resources he's on. No relics picked up just yet from Lucifer either, which is a bit interesting. The prayer tent is down, so the shamans will be coming out shortly. But have a look at this. Corvinus not really feeling comfortable moving out either to pick up the relics. And those heals are starting to get pretty serious here on the front line. Now, the number of units that are out at the moment for Corvinus is not the best. He's sitting on, realistically, you're talking about maybe, 15 units compared to his opponent, who's got quite a sizable mass here. And these are powerful spearmen. He's got +2 melee attack on these bad boys. Actually, I take that back. Where is he getting? Oh, it's from the Kurultai, of course. It's from the Kurultai. So, there's a fair bit of damage that's coming through here. He's only just getting Bloomery now. But Traction Trebuchet working it down. I'd love to see a little bit more siege from Lucifer here as well. I was thinking about tier lists. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Mongols move up a tier, just because they've got access to so easy to make siege. And with siege being so strong at the moment, it just naturally feels like if you've got an easy way to get into siege, that's going to mean a good thing for you. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Farm's going to be coming down behind the town center, though. Interestingly, the Kura storehouse never built this farm, or if it did, it was taken out by the Traction Treb. I think, oh yeah, it was. Look at this. The Traction Trebuchet is reaching behind and able to hit the farms on the backside. Wow. Spring on emplacement, able to take out the villager on the farms as well. So unfortunate to see right there, but you can feel just how difficult this is for Corvinus. He is really trying his best to hold on in the fort, but he is completely boxed in. This is an interesting... Oh, look, we've got ourselves a little bit of a temple spam happening behind the scenes. He's up to 800 gold per minute coming through passively. Now, keep in mind, there's 14 Buddhist monks that are online here, and he is holding out for a prayer right now. He is calling upon the gods. He's saying, I need you to hear my call right now. But I don't know whether it's going to come. There's a significant portion of his military population that is just Buddhist monks. And while sure, technically in these fights, he's going to be spamming off like, what, 18 of these buffs? What are they? Or debuffs? So Hayes Sultra? Was that spring on emplacement's pretty far, isn't it, man? I felt like it went all the way to here, but I don't think it did. Siege Workshop's out. Wouldn't you love to have just a single Yorishiro in the back of that right now? Not going to be the case. EM Network now going to be coming through from Lucifron. And it's just a slow build-up here. Double Trebs now going to be moving up towards that northern position. Already with the 3 outposts in position will mean that Corvinus needs to deal with them first before he pushes in. Otherwise, he's just going to get eliminated by those, or I should rather say obliterated, by those outposts. They're particularly strong. And now, Landmark under pressure. You can see he's got the 2 here. Third one in the back. Doesn't even take a second before that Springald is obliterated by the Springalds of Lucifron. Now, keep in mind, he's also got a little bit of a bonus damage increase coming through from the Kurultai, which will mean... I'm curious how much damage that actually changes, because that's going to mean 72 against Siege. Does that increase? Hold on, 72 against Siege? I think it does. Oh, wow, hold on. 32, 72, so that's... You're talking about 108. They should be able to 2-shot a Mango with that. I'm pretty confident they'll be able to 2-shot Mangoes with that. I don't think they'd be able to... They might even be able to 2-shot Trebuchets with that. That's legit if that's the case. He's got to be careful on that top side because the Springalds are moving around into position. They can definitely come down into this little area here. Relic has been picked up. He did manage to secure it. We're going to enter into the cinematic mode as the conversion gets casted off. I don't know what that was all about, but I guess he's just looking to get into it. Corvinus just wanting to take the fight straight away. All of the units on the backside, the Monks need to start, but they're not doing too much. Behind the scenes, we see that Sahei Sultra coming through. Where is the cavalry? And this is unfortunate right now as all sacred sites get taken. Get off my screen, please. I wish. I've got no UI turned on, but unfortunately, it still comes through. Mounted Samurai numbers still looking pretty decent here. The pathing hasn't been the best for Corvinus, I would say, but if anything, that's kind of gone in his favor, just because there's so many melee units coming out from his opponent. And now in the middle of the fight, he's looking to oh, it was so close, he was healing it up. The next relic's gonna get picked up. He's gonna try for that one as well. All the units evacuating. He knows that he can't stick around and he's forced out. He looks like, I think he's taken a spearman, maybe? No, I don't even think he got a single unit in there, unfortunately. They've still got their buffs happening. They're looking to try and get that Sahei Sultra out. Sutra, I tell you what, my pronunciation here is not the best, but if he loses this mass of monks, he is going to be in a terrible position. This is an expensive mass. You can see that they're slowly but steadily going down. I think this might be it. I don't think there's any real way that you're getting back into a game like this. It is a tough position for him to fight from, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was a nice attempt from Corvinus 1. But it felt like Lucifron just really had his number. I think that there's probably a couple of ways that you could play it differently and really look to change change the way that this game went. Number one, I feel like the Honor Geisha were definitely a good call, but one of the things to note is that Corvinus doesn't have a lot of space. So maybe looking at securing more of the map, and I know that that's kind of hard, but like there's plenty of space down here where he could have looked to put farms down. And I think that's just one of the natural things that happens when you play forts is you've got to be very aware of the space in your... Rongo, did you call the game early? What's going on right here? Why are these monks overpowering the crossbows? And you can see they've all got the debuff on them. They do 13 damage to heavy units, 8 damage to everybody else. They do barely as much damage as a castle age archer. That is a sad state of affairs right now to be a crossbow. But Mangonel will come out. This could be the saving grace here. Lucifron, is he aware? He is aware. He will see it. But slowly and steadily, those trebuchets are doing... Hold on a minute. Is he okay? Is he okay? The landmark's been repaired. The farms are starting to come up. He's found space over towards this east side. I'd love to see just a wall across here, though. That's really important to me. Just get that wall up just to be safe. Buy yourself a little bit of time. Springald's now going to be coming up. And what have we got behind the scenes? Is this just wolves that are out here attacking? It is. Look at this. Still haven't been cleaned up. Trebs firing off at each other. Curious to see exactly how long it takes. Remember, the trebuchets can actually miss their shots. That one not going to miss. I think it's a 90% hit rate on an outpost, as an example. So a 2x2 unit. That one will hit as well. He's hit 3 for 3. Springald's coming in. Now remember, with the Kurultai bonus, I'm pretty confident they could be close to one-shotting this. Let's have a look and see. He should be able to take it out now if that repair doesn't come in. The repair will come in. No, he's not able to two-shot it. As long as the repair, you can see the Vils are getting pulled. He wants to make sure that the Springalds don't have a window, and they will find it. The consequence of that trebuchet making that shot is that the Springalds will eventually get it. Of course, if he just goes up to 3 Springalds, he'll be able to take him out. But with 2 Springalds, you've got to fight against repair. At this stage of the game, I think the most important unit for Corvinus is just going into the Mounted Samurai. The Mounted Samurai is really good in this situation. Takes advantage of all that gold that you've got coming in, and also takes advantage of the fact you don't have a whole lot of farms, don't have a whole lot of food, whereas if you're going for those Honor Bagasha, you're going to be making you're going to be making a fair few of them and not spending all that gold. You can see we've got lumber camps going down, looking to put some more farms in around the base of the town center. Very nicely positioned here. And we do see the final upgrade. It's going to be the Shogunate Castle together with the Buddhist monks. Now, there's one thing I just want to say right here, okay? Do not underestimate the strength of this strategy. Okay, I really want to make that clear. And the reason why is this. Corvinus, he's outgunned by Lucifron, okay? There's no hiding it, okay? Lucifron is a tournament winner, one of the best in the business. And while Corvinus is still a very good player, 9 times out of 10, Lucifron's going to take him out. But here you've got Corvinus, who is running a brand new strategy with a brand new landmark, or essentially a brand new landmark, on a map that probably, I mean, you can argue that it helps him, you can argue that it hinders him, but it's a bit weird, it's a bit wonky, and he's still doing this well. Let Corvinus cook for another 10 games or so, and then we're going to come back and see just how good it goes. Maybe not this map, maybe not this matchup, maybe not against Lucifron, but I'm confident that this is going to be strong. We can already see that, you know, it takes a little build up, right? Like, it takes a while to build up. But once it gets going, it starts cooking for sure. Villagers in the middle of the map going to get eaten alive by the Bagasha outpost getting thrown down. Keep in mind, he's got 5 minutes on that Sacred Site victory. We've got 3 Sacred Sites on the map. 1, 2, and then the third one over towards the edge of the map up towards this top side. But the Honor Bagasha looking like they will get cleaned up. A big mass of crossbows here. This is begging for a mangonel, I tell you what. This is, you know, when you make this many mangonels, or sorry, when you make this many crossbows, you're asking your opponent to make a mangonel, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Because as a result, like, you could just literally go into, you could just go into siege, right? Because you're playing as the Mongols. And then that opens you up to horsemen. So I'm curious to see whether there's going to be any kind of, you know, spearman approach to that, because you got to keep in mind that if you're going mass crossbow and you've got siege and siege and siege, you're weak to horsemen massively. So whether that actually gets recognized, whether we see like 5 stable, oh, you hate to see it. And look, this is what I was talking about. Just that wall coming up stops this from happening. You've got how many idle villagers now because of this? 24 idle villagers just because of this single Keshik getting through on the back. The wall would have stopped it all, but unfortunately, there is no wall. Shogunate Castle's online. The range on the Shogunate Castle's not the highest, okay? It's 8 tiles of range, which means the Trebs are going to be able to outrange it by quite a bit. I think they've got a total range of 14, I want to say. Yeah, 14 tiles of range. So now the slow build-up begins once again. Eco advantage definitely in favor of Lucifron. He's up by 33 economic units. But keep in mind there are 27 monks on the side of Corvinus. Corvinus beginning to move out with the Katana Bannerman. Needs to call those monks in. Needs those monks to start throwing out their debuff. I think that's probably the best way that we're going to talk or mention it is the debuff. We'll just call it that. It's probably going to be the easiest. Springalds firing off towards the back. Completely outnumbered Corvinus. Unfortunately here, completely outnumbered by his opponent. But no real mangonels in. A little bit of a wallalow here. He's just trying to distract his opponent. On a Bagasha moving up. Needs to throw out that debuff. Needs to get it going. The Shogunate Castle also helping out with a little bit of it on the offensive. Meanwhile, behind this, the crossbow numbers start to pull up. The Kurotai still doing work. Next relic gets pulled in, gets sniped out immediately by Lucifron. He knows how to deal with this, and you can see the Mango will find a shot. Falls a little bit short. Still more Bagasha coming up towards the front side. Slow and steady wins the race. That's the way he's thinking about it. Look at the relics on the back. Not going to find anything, unfortunately. Still, those crossbow numbers are looking good. And now we've got crossbows against monks. And I'll be the bearer of bad news here, ladies and gentlemen. The crossbows are going to win every single time. Fellas, go check them out. I'll leave links in the description to where we can go watch them live. They're over on Twitch. Salami, a.k.a. Corvinus, is streaming all day, every day. So go check him out. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.